Good evening. I'll call this meeting of the Parks and Rec Commission to order. First order of business is approval of the April 4th meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to read those?
Oh yeah,
Thanks for doing a good job on the minutes.
high quality,
Yeah.
detailed.
Yes.
I like it.
Any objection, or I need a motion?
I'll motion.
And a second from somebody.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second. Any objection to unanimous approval? If not, minutes stand approved as read. Okay, we move right along. We have board openings. We have 3 terms that are currently expiring. Amy and Doug Lynn and Gwen, and everybody's welcome to reapply. And also anyone out there is welcome to apply. Applications are due by May 23rd. You can go to the website and fill out the application. So we're looking for interest. I think we have maybe 2 of the 3 applying and maybe 1 not. So there will definitely be a vacancy. So looking for someone to apply out there. And then that will be determined by the city council, new appointments, and we will know by our next meeting. So I guess we can move right along, and we're ready for Parks report. We'll try to be kind to Tim.
Yeah. Yep. You get me instead of Guy tonight. Just kind of a lot of routine things, a lot of equipment maintenance as needed, trash and pet waste stations as always. We have begun mowing and trimming. Things are really taking off. And of course, it's just kind of us full-time guys right now till a lot of our seasonal help kind of starts to show up here. Also, a lot of time been spent on roundabouts and right-of-way landscapes, just pulling weeds, getting things tidied up. Finished all of our aeration for the spring and fertilizer and seeding some areas that need some reseeding. Ball season started. NLCBS is pretty much every night of the week, practices and games. And then, of course, the weekends we have scheduled tournaments, and they pretty much fill up every weekend. So that's been a pretty big thing. Also, soccer started too. So we paint lines and the soccer program's going on too.
And makeups.
Yep.
What
and
ring?
Yep. We tilled up the garden plots for the community gardens. That's continued to be very popular. I guess they're all rented out for the season. They're out of all the plots that we have up there. So we had Muddy Creek cleanup. That was April 8th. We just wanted to say a big shout out thanks to the Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, Greencastle 4-H Club, Tree and Stormwater Board, City Council, some residents, and then, of course, our own city staff, too, for all the efforts. We had 3 truckloads of collected trash, on that whole main bike trail section from the rec center down to Forever Green. Guy attended multiple meetings with Shive this past month, the city admin building, some Centennial Stage, next stage, I guess. Planning and designing meetings still going on. And then he also, April 19th, attended Fox Run Park Pond Trail Project pre-construction meeting out on site, I guess. And that project is slated to begin June 17th. So they'll start tearing it up at that point and getting their sidewalk and trail and all that playground and stuff that goes along with that project.
Is there any kind of notification or signage that goes up so the residents all know that it's happening?
Yeah, I'm sure there will be once they actually start. There will be of some sort. Yeah. Guy also attended the new City Hall location, some mechanical and cooling, heating, also generator startup and testing, some interior punch list stuff, camera training. He kind of got a big rundown of how things operate in there. A lot of, high-tech equipment and stuff, the new age stuff. So he kind of had to have a little learning training class, I guess, to go through it all and understand what's going on. So if something goes wrong, maybe we can work on it. So we also helped, speaking of new city hall, we also helped move them from their old location, some of all the office personnel. So a lot of filing cabinets, and along with our department, a lot of other city staff. I know Brian and some of the people from the rec center and streets were all there too. So community center tuck pointing, they got that all reworked. We had the one contractor kind of close business after the first go around of trying to get bids for that. So guy went through and got 3 new bids. He got TNT Tuck Pointing is awarded the contract out of Stockton, Iowa. And they
Where's
plan,
Stockton?
I want to say
Back over toward the Quad
little,
Cities.
yeah.
Is it? Okay,
That's
I'm
what
sorry, I
I'm
didn't mean
wanting
to
to
interrupt
say,
you. I
yeah.
just hadn't heard of Stockton.
How did that bid come in? Budget, under budget?
Actually, it came in, I believe, lower than
Lower.
the first go around.
Oh.
So yeah. So
About I would
it's
say
kind
about
of a good thing.
$10,000 lower
Yep.
than.
the
Wow.
first one, and under budget then too, I assume.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because
I'm
we had
assuming,
originally
yeah,
put it
yep.
through for actually, the first one came over budget, and so this one is probably right at what was
Oh,
budgeted.
perfect.
Mhm.
And they plan on starting September and completing by October, I guess is the plan. So, guy had his tree and stormwater board meeting April 10th. That's a quarterly meeting. I guess they discussed some tree grants and Tree City USA and the Muddy Creek Trail cleanup day too. We had a Cedar Springs garbage collection. Some of the residents kind of got together and walk the areas of their development there and pick up trash and other debris and stuff. And so we kind of help we go collect all their trash bags and stuff and dispose of it for them. We had the citywide cleanup effort this past Saturday. A lot of city staff and LRS, the town agency here for refuse, was there, and with all their trucks and everything else. So quite a few residents come through. We donated derecho mulch to Squire Point wood chip trail project. Was happy to help, I guess. We have plenty of mulch left over still from derecho. April 16th, we went to Kelowna and picked up 10 concrete bases. They were being used now for the Herky on Parade that
They look
just
so
got
good.
unveiled yesterday.
They look so good.
So yeah, we've got 10 of them around town here. So, and then some irrigation pump repair. We had to rebuild a pump and get that installed out there for the upcoming season. And lastly, I guess seasonal employees. I think we've filled all of our positions. So we're just kind of
Great.
waiting for them to start trickling in now that we've had a couple start, but the majority of them will be later in the month here and into June. So, of course, all the photos. So,
That's good to hear.
yep.
That's good.
Any dog park update?
Well, we've got grass growing.
Okay.
The other kind of more invasive weedy grass that we've been fighting is coming up also again, but we're hoping to open it up here shortly, and we're just going to kind of have to let it be. At least there's some good ground cover again, because this winter it was pretty much bare dirt everywhere out there. So yeah. So I think I think it was a May date was our original kind of closing it for a month. That'll probably be still kind of our first target.
So there was somebody that told me that in some of the cities they do a rotation. So if they have like three sections,
Mhm.
then they rotate through those just so that when it starts getting bare,
The
that
grass, a
kind of
chance
gets, yeah.
to, yeah. Yeah, and that's what it would. In I guess in theory for us, it would be the best too. But of course, our areas are smaller too, and I know you close one, and people don't like to only be able to use one that they necessarily don't like using as much as the others. So, yep,
Be heavily used.
yep,
I think to note the Cedar Springs cleanup, I think if any neighborhood wanted to do some cleanup, you
Mhm.
even provide or pick
Yep.
up the
yep. We
garbage.
provide. We even will bring them out bags too. Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Good, good to know. And thank all the communities that do that. Keeps our community looking good.
Yep.
Keeps those Herkies looking nice, as we know people are going to be driving all around town looking at the Herkies, just
Yep.
as they are wherever they are in all the towns. That's a big thing. So thanks.
Yep.
Thanks, Tim. Any other questions for Tim?
Tim, do you have to take care of all the new landscaping at City Hall too?
Yes.
It's
Yep.
like a lot. is
There's
there.
a lot there.
Mhm.
A lot of lava rocked plant areas there. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Add it to the list.
Add
Every,
it to the list.
every new thing has
Yep.
things to make it look nice. you know.
Yep.
Keep some nature and things around us. That's important. Okay, we'll move along to Shelley. Rec Center report.
Good
discussion.
evening. Yep. Basically, everybody knows that this April we got a shot of the very warm weather, which got, I think, a lot of people anxious for the summer. It actually helped out Ashley quite a bit in receiving more applications early in the season to start that summer staff process and get positions filled quicker than normal, is what Ashley had mentioned. And then with registration as well, summer registration was the first week in April, and that kicked off this month and was very strong too. And you can see that through the revenue reports when you get a chance to look at that. We did have special events that took place this month. Was our own open house at the community center, which was a success. And then staff trainings. We had drug and alcohol suspicion by supervisor staff, and then also a self-defense training that city staff could partake in. So I partook in those. And as mentioned already, community relations out of the community center moved into the new city hall and made their way there. And so we're making some changes with that space. Brian, if you want to touch on anything, it's basically Brian and Jonathan moving into the. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Jonathan and I are moving into the old community relations department's area and repainting, putting new carpet down. And I think the carpet's from 1997 when the facility opened. So it's been there a while. Yeah, so we're painting, doing that. Two of us will go in there, and Micah will move over to where my office is.
So we'll still have a connection with the community relations department with Micah, kind of having two different locations. I think at Cubby Station at City Hall, and also she does a lot of work with the Rancho House. So she's going to move into Brian's old office and then free up some space where Jonathan is right now in that back office behind the front desk. Matt, that will be kind of his office, along with more of a space for our part-time staff when they come into the facility and check in and are on the clock. Upcoming events there, coming up May 11th, we have the playground crawl. May 18th, the Remarkable Rigs event. And then we're in the heavy mode. Actually, we are filling as of today, I believe. I heard. Did you hear that too, Mark?
Sorry.
I believe Mark mentioned that they did start filling the outdoor pool today. So,
Got like an inch free today.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
free today. Yeah.
That's a good
1 to
one.
2 inches, maybe,
Yeah.
depending where you're at.
Yeah.
How's staffing for that looking, Shelley?
Ashley says it's going good.
Great.
Yeah, with that early start, and then I think a couple might have trickled off being available, but then a couple new ones are regulars are coming back. Summer help. So, to
Awesome.
my knowledge, she's told me I think everything's looking good. So,
Cool.
Oh, let's see. Our database, as you can see, we're still at that 60-40 resident versus non-resident, and we're at about 14,342 residents, totaling the 24,112 individuals in our database. So it's a good avenue to get the word out. So that continues to be a good avenue for us. Rest of the report there is a lot of our normal aquatic programming totals. Swim lesson totals, you'll see that swim lessons is a big number because of all the registration for summer lessons. League totals there. Pickleball, we have some beginner lessons going on. Jonathan's doing that, which is new. And then you see the good participation for our spring outdoor soccer program. Other reporting thing that stands out. Let me see. The rest of it's normal. Again, like I said, with it being a heavy registration month, you can see our total there of the 146,000 roughly dollars that we took in for the month of April. And then the rest of the report is just my normal revenue report and dashboard reports. So I'm open to any questions you might have.
So the daily fees and the membership, I read all the meeting minutes trying to catch up from last time. But is it finalized or is it still open for additional comment today?
Yep, coming down on the agenda, we do have the fees. We're going to continue the discussion
Okay.
again today, and then as it states there too, I'm going to present some of it to council on next Tuesday. So, but yeah, we'll have that conversation here shortly.
All right.
Or if we can jump to it, if you want to jump to it, I guess.
Questions about the general report, I think.
Just a quick question, and I don't know if this is Shelley, Brian, maybe it's for you too. The pickleball lessons, the 4 participants, is that like total? 4 people total have signed up, and is that all?
Yes, I think yeah.
Wow.
For that session.
Yep, for that session though.
And then he had another one coming, which I think we might have went up to 6. Oh, I'm trying to remember. It's something, yeah, that Jonathan just started. So
Just kind of surprised it's low. Like that.
he's also working with, or is that these guys that not volunteers, but the contract instructors? Is that total, or is that part of this number?
Is that Chelsea?
I don't even. I'd have to.
I don't know
I
either.
don't know. I'd have to
Okay.
check with
There's
Jonathan
2 of them.
on
I
that.
think he has 2 of them.
I know Chelsea's one of them.
Is Chelsea one of them?
Yeah.
Because what I had heard from it was it had to do with the times.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
They
okay.
were trying to figure out the times.
I will.
Me being a brand new pickleball player as of 2 weeks
Which probably
ago.
has to do with space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome,
Right.
welcome to the cult.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
So when you mentioned the times, it didn't work out for people to enroll, or did it work out? I guess, was there a concern on the time?
No, I just heard, and this is total rumor. This is like through somebody else. Is that the times weren't flushing with everybody, and so it was going to be
Gotcha.
getting it worked out.
Times up
And
the
again,
lessons.
like you said, the scheduling and having that open
Yeah.
spot time when to do the lessons is part of the problem as well. Yeah.
And remind me, he's got like tournaments
Coming up.
set up too. I think you'll see more
Yeah,
participation there.
I mean, the participation is there, just for those that are coming for the pickup
Yeah.
games and all that. It's just for the lessons is what's gradually
Right.
taken hold.
Beginners.
Yep.
My granddaughters who played it at school at Clear Creek have now started to go out to the courts.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's cool.
Just one more
Well, they're
question.
doing it in the schools.
They went and bought their rackets.
Paddles for paddles.
Yeah, paddles. Oh, paddle.
just-
I got it corrected too.
Just
so
easy.
it's okay.
One more question, though, Shelley, for you too, on the revenue by period, the pool rentals. I was just curious. We had that long conversation about pool rentals at our last meeting, and I noticed it looks like just under $3,000 taken in revenue for the pool rentals. I'm curious if there's an easy way for you or for Ashley to look and say, okay, we took in $3,000. What were our hard costs then, for that rental period? I know this conversation's ongoing, right, about what the pool rental fee should be. But just as a quick glance, say, yep, it was $3,000 in revenue, but our expenses for lifeguards ended up being whatever it is. Maybe it's $3,400, maybe it's $1,200. I have no idea, but just curious, to ensure that we're trying to be equitable, right, and
Right.
offering that as an option, but also that we're not subsidizing,
Right.
For people having
These would
private
be
pool
for
rentals.
indoor ones.
This is indoor only, right?
Yep.
So it
Obviously,
wouldn't
yeah.
be very many,
Yeah.
maybe 2 guards up and probably a manager, maybe 3
Yeah.
guards and a manager or something. So it wouldn't be,
Yeah.
it wouldn't cost as much as the outdoor would. So
And it doesn't either on the rental fees, if I remember right. It's less
Cheap,
expensive
yeah.
to rent that one. Yeah.
And in talking with Ashley, I asked her that question from our last meeting when we were discussing the fees and memberships and just costs in general and stuff on rentals. The indoor pool, the way we have it right now, it pretty much breaks even for the staff costs. It's the outdoor pool that we could raise to offset, because right now, yes, we're losing money on the outdoor pool rentals. So
You wanna-
we'll get into that discussion
Down the
here
road here, sure,
shortly.
yeah.
But for the indoor pool, which, like Brian says, that's what most of those are indoors, we're breaking even on staff costs and what we charging people to do those.
And in my mind, that's perfect. I don't think it has to be a revenue generator at all. I like the fact that we can offer it for community members and have it available for those private things. I just making sure that, it's not a subsidized thing. I think
Right,
it's important
right.
for the
kind of
city,
going
right?
back to our last meeting, you were asking about the Coralville and having their pool
Yeah.
parties. They only offer their pool parties during the pool when it's open. They don't offer them when they're
Oh.
not open. So it's during the time when there's,
So they've
They're already
sort of
paying
planned
staff
that
to
out.
be
They're already
there.
supplying-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
actually
they
not
do
a-
that. We do it on and off. We do it so you can have you and your friends and whatever go there and have it, which
Sunday evening.
which
Yeah.
I think is kind of nice too, because you're not with everybody else that's going
Yeah.
there and taking up the space. So
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Any
Thank
other
you.
questions on the report? Then we'll move right into the discussion piece we pick up from last time.
Yep, we could go right into discussion of the fee proposal. And I did, in the packet was the new kind of taken from what we discussed last month, adding some more information on the free opportunities, discount opportunities, etc. And so any other discussion you want me noted, and then we can continue that discussion.
So one thing I want to raise is no matter if the price is raised or not, like the terms of a golden and silver and black membership, all these terms, I think it was mentioned in the last meeting, confuses me. So for me, I need to go back and work forth on the web page to see what is silver and what is gold, and I strongly recommend just to say pool access and then weights and
Access.
aerobic access, or just make a term like umbrella term for both. So this will improve it a lot. This is my strongest comment. And something else I want to convey some feedback from my community. Some people is saying it strongly recommends keeping the different rates between residents versus non-residents. They are saying that if Carville and Iowa City also doing same rate for non-residents and non-residents, and that they are totally comfortable of doing same rate for different groups of people. But if they are also doing, differentiating between residents and non-residents, then they feel more comfortable of us providing 2 different rates as well for the daily fees. If we are doing, 2 different types of fee for the membership than the daily fees, it's better to keep 2 different rates.
yeah, but that's what we're trying to get away from, because we don't know who's a resident and who's not a resident, and they can tell you they're a resident
Then you can
one day
check
and then the next day
ID.
they
I
don't,
mean,
you know,
you don't want to check the driver's license every time?
well, we don't check every kid that comes.
At the
in.
outdoor
Kids
pool
at the
during the
pool.
summer, it's
Uh-huh.
mainly
Yeah.
kids.
There's
They
a
don't
line
have
of-
IDs. They don't have that information. So that's
Okay.
why we'd like to go to just the daily fee itself, a flat fee of $6.
I see. This
And
is
so we don't have to take that time,
Mm.
especially when there's a long line. People just want to get in. And so that's why we were going to go with that, just one fee.
And I think, Shelley, one thing I like that you had talked about, you or Brian had brought up last time about that, is also a lever to then discuss with both community members and non-members monthly or annual memberships, right? And
Yep.
say
Which then we would
$6 a day,
charge
or
residents.
it's
And we would charge resident, non-resident, because we can,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
have to give us information
Right, you
and we
gotta
know
get
they
their info.
live there or don't live
Gotcha.
there, and it has to be an actual address that shows up in our system, or else that's
This
questions.
makes more
so,
sense to
yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But then before knowing that, some people are saying that for residents from $4 to $6, it is a little bit more, increase than they, expected versus $5 to $6. So just, things that you can keep in mind. Something else. So another thing that I want to raise is right now I look at all the numbers. Totally understandable that we have all different categories for different groups of people, but like the numbers are all over the place, like 54, 45, 56, 68. So it might be more convenient to have a more consistent number system, saying $19, $29, $39. $199 for each.
Shelley
For the
can-
membership?
Yeah, Shelley
The
can kind of
membership.
explain how those numbers,
Mm.
because it was on a basis
Sure,
of X
it's
number.
based on a,
It's based on X number of times coming to the facility.
It started off when the resident rate or when the drop-in fee was like $3, going back to like 2018 was the last time we had changed from our to our membership rates. At that time, we added the track only for non-residents, and then the facility pass, which is mainly for use of the gymnasiums. We wanted to keep that low because that's mainly the kids after school, etc. But that, and at one time we had, going back to the track, that was our lowest, most simplest package. All you're doing is the track. Council wanted it free to residents and then a nominal fee, and that most of our fees are for non-residents is that 125% of the resident rate. So that's kind of how we started with the track being the least, and then going up to the gold and silver. It's based on basically coming 3 times a week, using the facility at that rate. I think at that time might have been the $3 drop-in rate. So that's
You're-
kind of how we.
Your point is that you think the numbers are too difficult.
It's
Is that what?
Yeah, so what I feel is we can still keep the general, system of the rate, but then you can, bump a little bit for each number to make it more consistent, more reader friendly. So like for
55 and
55, it
then 70
becomes-
for the next one.
let's say 55,
Yeah.
65, or
Yeah.
59 versus 69. Just to adjust the number a little bit higher or a little bit lower to make the whole system looks like more.
And we're going to be
consistent
looking at,
to look.
I mean, this is kind of the next phase of what we're doing. We're
Sure,
going to be,
sure,
we're
sure.
going to start looking at this and seeing, because there are a lot of options, and then if somebody comes in with a track card, we just had it happen the other day, comes in with a track card, swipes it, wasn't theirs, went and shot baskets, then went upstairs and worked out. Well, they have a track pass. It's a free track pass that, so we can't control that unless somebody sees, oh, they swiped in, it's a track pass, and he went upstairs.
that was actually one of my questions for you: is how do you
See,
police
that's,
that?
and I
or
think that's the
can you?
hardest part, and I think
Right.
that's something we have to sit down and figure out. Okay, maybe it can't be like this, but we figure out, okay, when you buy a pass, it's for everything, and then we don't have to kind of worry about it. Or you can buy like a, just a, especially with the kids, like the gymnasium type deal. But we're going to have to sit down and figure that out.
Sure.
Because we haven't looked at this, like Shelley said, for a long time. And, the numbers we might readjust the numbers, and, who knows?
Sure, this is the finalized, like polished
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
So this is totally anecdotal. Totally, so this last month, after we had this long discussion, and was it just in my brain that it was 6 times 4, is that too much, whatever. So I went to my clients that are North Liberty residents, okay? Showing them houses. Hey, these are people who are moving within the North Liberty, more than 3, okay, but not more than 10, okay. And I asked them, I go, so do you use a rec center? Yes, we use a rec center. Some of them used them. There's a few that are regular attendees, and then there's a few that don't use it. They use it
Here,
like 4 or 5 times.
here or somewhere else. Here they're using our rec center, or
They're using your rec
Okay.
center, and the majority of them use the pool. Like the pool is their big thing.
Right.
And I said, we're talking about raising it from $4 to $6. Do you know what I mean? What would that be? So one particular family said, "Boy, they thought $5 a head seemed very reasonable. When you start getting up in that 6, they had the same kind of, seems like a lot. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm just saying, is there a way to get a family fee?
for walking for a daily fee.
Yeah.
Well,
And
they
don't give me
should
the
buy a,
evil eye,
they should buy a
Brian. Don't
pa-
give
I
me the
was-
evil eye, okay? Because I can feel
they
it.
should buy a pass.
I
I
was
mean,
going to say
really,
the pass would be the better value.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to try and educate everybody on is the better value is pushing towards those memberships. You get your membership card, so the next time you come in, all you have to do is scan
Okay.
and go. And that's what one of the benefits.
Maybe
of-
there needs to be like some sort of like a membership push.
Yes.
That maybe that's like a subgroup that some of us can help do that to get more people to buy memberships.
It's just the education piece I think that Nick talked about last time too,
Yeah.
that we want to push the memberships. And another thing that we did last year that a lot of members liked was that 1 hour before taking daily drop-ins, they can come in and have the pool to themselves. So we have to do a little more education on the membership having 1 hour of, hey, free time before the daily drop-ins can come into the pool too. So we have to just educate that
That's a good
piece as
idea.
well.
Yeah, with the membership, it's, if a family of 4 comes once a week to the pool, say, then the membership right there,
Yep.
you've covered that,
Mhm.
It
saved
appeared-
yourself on that daily
I
cost.
was surprised though. Most of the people use the pool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what they use. They use the
Yep.
pool and they use our parks. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, there's not a lot of weight training, not playing pickleball, not, I just was, it was kind of interesting. But I really want to, I just want to make sure everyone knows that families are struggling. I mean, they really are struggling. So,
I also have people from my community, saying that $4 to $6 seems a lot. And I also wonder, if you increase to 6, how long are you gonna keep? Is it like 1 year, 2 year, or like you're looking at 5 years from now? So if you say if you increase just to $5 and then you adjust on an annual basis, just to increase a little by little every year, that might make people feel a little bit better. Instead of, have a big jump and then keep it 3 to 5 years. But for people at this moment, they feel it's a lot.
So they feel $2 is a big jump.
Some people say that.
when you
But
say
then
it
the
like
last
that,
time
when
we, but
you
the last
say
time,
it,
but the last
I
time
know.
we had a jump was
I
back in
know.
It is a
2015.
50% jump, but
So-
but it's still just $2, right?
I
So
know. I
yeah.
mean, I know when you say
Because
it like that.
my house insurance went up $150.
I know,
So
right? Yeah, yeah.
I think maybe the question or a way that it can be framed, for questions like that too, is the data and the explanation behind it, right? It's been 6 years since we've had any sort of increase. We've
Right.
kept things low. Here's the rationale behind why we have to do this. And here are options for
Best
you and your
value
family
is
to
membership.
get best value and make that daily fee far less if you're using the facility frequently, right?
Right.
Um,
To that, I think another thing to think about is like a commitment to this price for a certain amount of time. You can't totally see the future, but hey, we want to lock this in for 3 years or so. Then that will maybe make people feel better. Oh, they're not just going to raise another 2 years next year, another $2 next year, right? So maybe there's some of that too that could help with that. I don't know. That's tough.
hard to
That's kinda
guarantee.
tough,
Tough.
yeah.
No, but I mean, but
we
the
don't
idea,
anticipate.
the idea is that we're not going to try to increase it every single year. This is
Right.
sort of a one-time thing to make up for a 6-year period of not increasing the price. we hope to stick with this as
Yeah.
long as we can.
In the future, maybe we do, a slower,
Review
it
it
goes up
more
$1,
often.
it
Right.
goes up
50
whatever,
cents or
50
whatever, yeah,
cents or,
right.
something
Yeah.
like that. So yeah.
I'm wondering a real concerted campaign, either with flyers or posters and on the website, explaining that if you come this many times, the membership,
Yeah.
really laying that out,
Mhm.
just, laying that out really in black and white,
Right.
that, and maybe if they could be handed out, a flyer and everywhere.
Well, you just
website,
said you
up
have
there on the
brochures already,
TV,
right?
saying,
Right.
if you're,
You have brochures right on the table or right on the already, right? So you could,
The fees as they're presented.
Yeah.
It's just education and
Right,
just getting that
right.
word out and using community relations to get the word out too.
Right.
Once we do this, then
Yeah.
put that,
That is
do
the
you
biggest-
realize that, a membership allows you unlimited
Mhm.
when you're paying something, I think a good,
For certain things, the way it's set up currently, yes.
yeah, I
Because
think
like the black and gold gets you everything, but if you have a gold or a silver, you only get, the
Right.
pool or the weight
weights.
area. So
And
that's
I
something
think-
I think we need to, we'll explore too in our discussions on what to do. And, maybe we'll come up with a price and it's $500. It's a hard number and not, 324 or something like that. So.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense to go back and look at that, the reasons, the rationale, and where this money is going. And I think it's also important that we recognize, because to Gwen's point, I mean, things have gotten more expensive, right, for everybody. But on the flip side, they've gotten more expensive for the community center too, right? So there's costs that they have to incur that have also gotten more expensive and have to be recouped in some form. So I think as long as that balance is there and fair, and we're not, which I don't think you are, but we're not just raising the rates just to raise the rates, I think, that's all explainable. And then, like we've said a million
Just because
times,
you want new paint, new
Yeah.
carpet
Yeah.
for your office, Brian.
Brian
Well,
wants
you-
that lazy
Talk
gray
about the
paint.
pool, the
That's that $2,
Yeah.
isn't it?
the people that are going to the pool that you talk to, I mean, the pool is the most expensive. I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
One
so
other
expensive.
comment that came out in this discussion, though, that I thought was really interesting. So these are young people.
Yep.
So these are my kids' age. And all of them, I said, well, you can buy a membership there. And they kind of looked at me like this, oh, like a subscription? And so I'm just going to say
Yep.
this. I'm just going to say this to you.
So that
If I
was,
were you, I'd reframe it as a subscription.
Yeah.
The monthly
Which is
subscription to do the
Which is what Nick
So everything works.
suggested
Yep.
last
Yeah.
month.
because
Yep.
the truth is
Divide by
that's
12.
what we're all doing.
A
I've got
month to month
subscriptions to all
instead
kinds of
of-
stuff.
Right. And I totally agree with the subscription idea. I was about to bring this up. So the fitness program that I'm in right now also does like a 1 month locked in or 3 months locked in. So basically you unsubscribe like 30 days ahead or 90 days ahead. So these can be two useful options to think about. Because right now, when the membership ends, it ends, right? And when people want to buy another the monthly membership, they can have a gap of 10 days and come back and renew it again. But like if you do the subscription, then you keep doing that, right? Because you're offering a nice, so you are offering this rate and you're asking for a commitment. And if they want to, cancel, they need to cancel 30 days ahead, or
And
it will take.
that's one of the
effective.
concerns like our front desk staff has is, it gets charged on, July 1st, and then people come to you and say, hey, we didn't want to charge that. And you try to explain that. Sometimes that doesn't
yeah.
work out so well. They get mad because you've already charged it to their credit card and
Yeah,
they
the
didn't
thing
want
is
to,
is-
even though they're supposed to tell us,
Yeah.
I think it goes back to that education.
Yeah.
I mean,
It does.
and I get it because you're always going to have that,
Yeah,
right?
always.
In
So
any,
the thing
any
is,
industry.
when you start a new whole system, we need to have some time for the community to know. For like now, it's May, right? You can say something like, starting effective August 1st, we are going to start a new policy, and here are the new policies. Just give some time for the community to get used to it.
Mhm.
So
And
this
that's our
is one
goal.
thing.
I mean,
Well,
that's our
and that's
goal.
why we're not
Right,
making any
right,
changes
yeah.
to our
Yeah.
memberships, is because we just wanted the daily fees to take first effect and then see how that does it push people to more of the memberships, and then reevaluate the memberships this fall and see if we have to make any changes there. Subscriptions.
Yes.
See,
yes.
I'm old school. I always say
I know,
membership
me
versus
too.
subscription.
I would rather be a member than a subscriber.
Well, you could probably simplify it as easy as a monthly subscription,
Yep.
is one rate, but then an annual subscription
Yep.
is another rate.
Mhm.
That's less expensive
Yep.
per month.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
the only caveat with the annual rate is you got to tell us 30 days ahead if you want to cancel it.
Mhm. And
I
it's
mean, I think
very-
that's a fair,
which is very
simple thing,
standard,
right? Yeah,
right?
it's
And
pretty
say-
standard for
like-
everything.
And say the monthly membership is charged on, let's say, the first date of each month. And if you cancel sometime in the middle, then you can still have the rest of the month.
Mhm.
You can still keep using it, right? So
The
you don't have
membership
to
or the
prorate.
subscriptions right now are 1 month from date of purchase and 1 year from date of purchase. So it doesn't go by the first of every month.
Right.
It goes by the date of purchase.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you get 1 month.
Okay.
And then, like I said, if all the memberships, we usually have a 5-day warning saying you're about to expire.
Is this more difficult for you to operate because everybody start on a different date?
No.
No? Okay.
The system does it.
Oh,
We
Yeah,
don't-
the
we
system
don't-
does
Because
it. So
it is possible to to count every month, and then you can prorate. You can give a prorate rate for the first month.
We have to put
No?
all that in and
Alright.
tell the system that. And
I imagine it's, from
Yeah.
date of purchase, that's what
Okay, this
people
is more in
Data
line with
purchase
like a
works
Netflix
better.
subscription. If you're
yes,
starts on the 7th, it starts on the
It starts
7th,
on the
right?
7th.
Okay.
When you cancel it, you can still have it till the 7th, but on
Yeah.
the 8th, it's
Right,
gone, or
right.
7th, or whatever date it is. Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to complicate or micromanage. I'm just saying there's just something.
Mm.
I just
Well-
want to be said.
Yeah.
Well, what I'm thinking I've gathered here, okay, is like the daily fee would be the change and implemented here in May, and then some of these other things you're still considering, looking at how things pan out.
Mhm.
I think we understand the issue of identification at the pool. How do you know?
Yeah.
We don't. Kids, we don't want to accuse people of lying, or we want to provide the service, and I think that is probably one of the most difficult things to, to ask. So I think having it the same fee for the residents and non-residents, I think we have if you have pop-in users, they're just going to use the fee because they're in town or something like that. That's the fee. And then if you have the usual users or the more routine, to try to educate that it's better to buy a pass or a plan and to accommodate the payment of that in whatever way you can. So I think, as far as any other discussion about the daily fee, I think we understand having it the same for everybody. We understand it's a percentage-wise, it's a increase, but it hasn't been increased for a while. And I think the due diligence will be made in seeing whether the increase is necessary in the future. But I don't think we can lock ourselves in and say, well, we're not going to raise it for a certain amount of time, because that could lead to a lot of other consequences, like egg on our face down the future.
No other questions, but I did just want to say, and this applies to everything down the line here too, but daily fees, like to the staff, thank you for incorporating that whole conversation we had last week. I see a lot of that reflected in this revision. Daily fee specifically, the slow time, discounted rates, stuff like that. I think you guys did a great job of taking all our comments from last month and incorporating them into this. So thank you.
So if you've read Shelley's comments in red, and everybody, that's where it leads to what's going to be, looked at as we go through the process.
We don't need to vote or anything to approve these. I guess I'm not sure. I've never had something like
Has
this
to go
brought
through
before us
city council,
before.
doesn't it?
Recommend.
And just a recommendation,
Right.
and especially like Richard said, the daily fees is the biggest one
Right.
coming up for council to look at on Tuesday. Is the daily fee at that $6 is the biggest one. Is it's nice to have that recommendation from the board if you guys are in agreement or not in agreement. So then when I do go next Tuesday, I pass that.
I think that makes
As far as the
makes
process,
sense.
if there's consensus.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't
Gotcha.
our motion, voting on it, but do we have consensus for this recommendation to go forward?
One other comment would just be that if once that decision is made, I would just say as soon as possible getting up that notice.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as fast as we can get it up, right? So people are
Right.
able to read as soon as possible. I think it's important too. Just that communication
Right.
piece of it. Yep.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, that will be a
And
big push.
Yeah.
Especially with the outdoor pool
And you have a lot
season
of
starting.
communication will
Right.
be going about the pool, the opening of the pool.
Oh, sure.
And everything.
Yep.
Where you
Oh,
get
yeah,
that rate. Get
Yep.
that rate.
Yep. New and exciting rates.
Well, I support it as written.
Yeah,
But
I'm a sport as
remember,
well. Right, exactly.
Subscribe.
Become
to
a member.
plan.
Subscribe.
Either 1 month or annual is your best bet.
Yeah.
Best value.
Young and old, no discrimination.
That's right. But like I said too, if you have nothing to do next Tuesday, if you want to come to the council meeting, that's when I am.
14th, right?
14th.
Do you see that as support for you? Not, I mean,
We're just hear the discussion
Okay.
even on the council level.
Depends on what
I
you
was
have to
gonna
say.
I mean, I think it's horrible that we're raising these rates and Brian gets new carpet and new paint.
And we're paying $14 an hour.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if any of you guys were on back when we last did rates. I mean, our recommendation was on the track one, was to have a very minimal for residents, a little higher for non-residents. And that's when council says, nope. And they said, we don't want to charge for the track for residents. And so we had to revamp
Mhm.
what we originally went with them with the proposal.
Yeah.
So again, yeah, they'll have their own views.
I guess
I-
my
Sorry,
whole
go ahead,
deal
Ben.
is I think having families go do healthy activities is so important, especially nowadays. Do you know what I mean? When everybody's on these and they're not talking to each other. So if something is going to help us, a community center to me is just a great place. I mean, and everyone I talked to said they go to the pool together. It's this great North Liberty's pool and the splash pads we have. But I realize that costs are going up for everyone. So
And again, those daily fees are based on Coralville, Iowa City, all local, what they're going to. So it's not like you said, we didn't pull a number out of our, just
No,
because
and
we wanted to increase. It
and-
was based on what others are doing in the area as well.
And
So.
full disclosure, I just see my kids, I just see how much it costs them it's just horrible. But they can go get a, hamburger at field day or, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So I should probably just be quiet.
See, maybe we're keeping the prices low at the concessions.
I would say, yeah, we haven't even looked at
Yeah,
concession prices in a while. So
I can't pull it here, but you had your notes about your free gym nights and reduced swim and stuff. I think that's emphasized.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
Well, and I think I was actually just going to say that it's because right below where the rates are. When that communication goes out, people are going to read the $6, but then right below that or right in that area, you're going to see, oh wow, there's some opportunities where if the $2 is an issue, you're going to have some options. So I think that's a nice soft landing for people that are concerned about it.
I think it's balancing the fiscal needs, right, for the pool and this facility and the department with the needs of families in the community by offering them that.
And you do realize, what nice parks we have. We have splash pads. We have things that are
Right.
out there that we do that are free and family friendly, and a lot of activities that go on. The Great Slate puts on, so many activities that are free, and the things coming up here in May with going to the park, the park crawl. Which you want to say? Which parks is it? Do you remember? It's Deerfield and Beaver and Deer Creek and Centennial.
Yes, I believe so.
Is that the three? And for people, if you go, there's a special activity going on at each one of those parks, and then the digs, the rigs
Marble
that's out
rigs.
at the
Yep.
Centennial
Yep.
Park.
Those are cool.
where the kids can come.
Mark over rigs.
I know the kites are planned for June, and then
Pray for wind.
Blues and barbecue. I assume all the children's activities are going to be free again for that. So
Yeah.
there are a lot of things in the community that other communities don't necessarily have that are available and are free. And I think maybe we're going to, as we get in talking about next stage, eventually going to be that big splash pad out there. That's really going to be tremendous for the
And
community.
just to add on to, talking about educating the value of the existing annual membership, I think it will be help a lot if you just to explain a little bit more in a very obvious place about how the annual membership values. Because initially, I feel like the annual membership is, the single monthly times 12, but actually, no, it's only half, right? But I didn't notice until I, fully closely studied this, and I don't think every single potential member might do this. So, besides from just presenting this table on the website, it will be, so helpful to clearly write, how the annual membership works. It's only like half of the actual cost.
And staff tells a lot of people that when they come and get
Yeah.
their membership, it's like, it's better if you're going to come here all the time, it's better to come and get the annual membership because like you said, it's half of
Right.
if you would do it every single month. So yeah. Yep. And we have people that come and they pay the daily fee. There was one just today or yesterday paying the daily fee, and they've been there like 4 days. And Jason's like, are you sure it was a couple? Are you sure you guys don't want to get a membership? Well, we're not ready yet, and they've been paying
Yeah.
Yeah.
$4,
Because the
$5
total
each
number
time,
looks like
a
very big
and it adds
number.
up, and they could have
Yeah.
probably got a membership by this point.
Well, I think Shannon had a good idea last week. I think it was her idea about simplifying the way it looks, right? So it's just, you're only showing your monthly cost. Your monthly cost per month to month is X. Your monthly cost, if you're on the annual subscription, is X. Just to kind of see that you're comparing apples to apples down the line, right? That here's my monthly budget. Here's what's coming out of that budget every month. Here is the best deal right here, right? Would make it super simple. And less explanation required than for your staff to have to kind of hold hands and walk them.
And I know staff thinks the current way it all is confusing to some of them, and explaining it to people
Right.
that have no clue.
Right.
Like, what is black and gold?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
they get very confused.
But at least it goes silver, gold. So you're thinking like platinum's coming next,
Yep.
right? And then it's
Yep.
black and gold. You're like,
Yep.
what black comes
Where's
from?
bronze?
Pull the rug right out from
Yeah.
you there. We're like, nope.
Yeah.
And talking about this, it reminds me of, when seeing some membership online saying this, like a basic check, like only one check, and then pro has two checks, right? And then something like golden has, multiple, like 10 checks. So maybe, to convert this current table into something like that, so that, they know that when they get like more expensive membership, they cover more facilities.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like track only as a check, track
Right.
access.
Yeah.
Yep.
Facility has track.
Sort of benefit
gym,
list
pickleball,
of
whatever.
things.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah. And I think we know this, but I wanted to say this more for residents, but pools are very expensive to manage. And I know the last couple of years, we've put a lot of money into keeping pools. And recently, with traveling to some small communities for my son's baseball team, we have a really, really nice outdoor pool here. So, and not every community does. And if they do, it was 20 years ago, it was nice. And ours still looks pretty darn good. So just sort of as we think about $2, just keep that stuff in mind as well.
And the city's still.
Now, don't say it like that.
I-
That's $2.
I'm just
I mean, the
I'm-
city
I'm
is
ju-
still subsidizing a large
Correct.
portion.
That's-
So I
yes,
think
my point.
It's not like this $2 is going to get us
exactly
over the hurdle, because it's
Right.
it's not. It's
right.
still
It's very
the
expensive.
city is still subsidizing
Yes.
a large portion of
Yes.
the whole thing. So
Operations.
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay, I feel
you feel better.
All right.
feel guilty. And
My plan worked. My plan worked, Gwen. Good.
$2.
Jeremy and I are
That's
here
right.
working here. We're
That's
trying
I'm
to
gonna
get
go to
you.
the city council meeting. $2.
I can see the sign already. Want my $2.
It's tough with our
We're the people.
I know.
economy, but when you do think about the
It
free
is.
thing, what's available here in the community is pretty nice, and we hope everybody takes advantage of that. And it's tough when you talk about increases, but we hope that we think it works out, and doing those extra things to have lower cost times. We're working to do that. And
Gwen, this is why we lost your application when you.
That's right. She's done.
I was almost going to say that. I was going to go, oh, I can see why the application never got.
They might have shredded it. I don't know.
Okay, so you're comfortable with what we discussed tonight? I think we have. We've had a lot of good discussion. Okay, so I think nothing else from the community. The next stage, what's the
Yes.
latest?
I got a little update from community relations. Let's see. they mentioned last Tuesday the council approved the plans and specifications for the first phase of the Centennial Park Next Stage project, which is expected to be awarded at the May 28th meeting of the city council. I do have some renderings that they sent me of the project that I can share with you guys. It's expected to break ground following Blues and Barbecue this year and open the fall of 2025. They expect it to start taking bookings for the space upon the start of construction for the late fall, early winter of 2025. Blues and Barbecue will not happen in 2025 due to the construction, but the park will remain open and the work site will be fenced off. In the past year, they raised more than $2.3 million in outside support towards the project and hope to reach the $3.5 million total. And like I said, they have renderings that I'll pass down, but that was the update from communications on Next
I
Stage.
think those are maybe on the webpage too, the rendering.
I believe they
pictures.
are, yeah.
And that's, to see where we're headed. We're really headed for something nice out there in the first phase. And we've got City Hall opening up, and then the next stage is focus on Centennial Park, I think. And Fox Run neighborhood, you're going to get your development out there this year. So the playground and the trail. So things are happening. So thanks, Shelley. Anything else to come before us?
Real quick, sorry, put the gavel down. No, I did look through the budget information in the recent city council packet from I think their last meeting, April 23rd, maybe. And just wanted to call out just for this commission to know, and then Shelley, if you want to provide some context, absolutely. But it looks like FY 26, you're getting your new bathroom
Under the
remodel
pool?
in the indoor pool. And then also starting with the new parking lot
Yes.
in FY 26. And we got some money in here for FY 25 for pool enhancements too. Is that just like the upkeep stuff, or is there something cool happening with the pool?
What was
Or is it the boring like duck sock stuff?
that might be the big one.
Okay.
That was unexpected, the duck socks in the indoor pool. So that might take some of that. We're still waiting to see how this fiscal year budget is coming. Probably by the middle of end of this month, I should have a good idea if the budgets are looking good, we can take care of some of these current projects and then have it for the next need that's there. So again, they're earmarked for certain things that Ashley has put in that needs attention. Hopefully we can get those done and it's not taken by something that just develops.
I was just excited to see it starting to get into the budget. You know what I mean? Like it's there, and we can get that bathroom refresh will be great.
Yeah, definitely will be.
And Brian,
I
you got
think-
some money for weight equipment too. So
Yeah, not as much as normal though.
wasn't it a little bit more than this year?
How much was it this year? This coming up near.
Looks like you had what, 15,000 FY 24 and 20,000 FY 25.
So they upped it 5.
Yeah.
Yep. Usually we had 50.
Usually,
so-
usually it was 50.
Oh.
Yeah.
It doesn't go back that far in my list here. So
Usually we had 50. So there was a lot of things getting changed out and
if you hold on until FY 28 here,
there,
you get
yes.
50 back,
I'm
so
helping out. Yep.
I just think that's great news. Is all
Yeah.
getting some of that work done.
Always hopeful that unexpected expenses pop up.
Yes.
And
And normally it's the pool that is the unexpected.
Unexpected.
things.
like to be adding. Yeah.
You can pick up the gavel.
Well, we're getting close. Okay. Next meeting is June the 6th, and we will be at the new city hall.
And it looks really good from the outside.
And,
Yeah.
and
Be
I think
closer to our house.
May 14th is the community open
Open
house
house.
for
City
City
Hall
Hall at
open house,
4:30 that night.
Oh, May
So
14th.
we are going to call for adjournment at the last time in this facility.
So moved.
Oh,
Should we take a picture?
I'll go second. Yes.
Any objections to adjournment? Meeting adjourned.
All right.
Look at me.
Got it.
I didn't know